Hi, I'm horticulturist Gary Bachman, and for today's daily dose, we're not out in the garden. We're in what used to be the dining room, where I have my propagation rack, and I've showed you guys that in the past where we grow microgreens and start seeds here. But I've had the crazy idea about why can't I grow some of the dwarf or micro tomatoes that we just looked at in a previous daily dose indoors underneath the lights. I think I've hit on something that's kind of a good idea. Let's take a look. Now what I've done, I've taken these micro tomatoes, the dwarf tomatoes, and I've put them on like a little rolling rack that I can easily slide out from underneath the lights, so I can do maintenance and water and actually come in here and pick tomatoes. Now for growing these micros or dwarf tomatoes indoors, I'm using the Bootstrap Farmer 5-inch pots. I really like these. Heavy duty, not single use. I'm going to use these for years. But we have to consider the pollination of the flowers. And talked about how tomato flowers need the wind to kind of jiggle the flowers so they can kind of self-pollinate the way they do. Kind of hard to have wind here in the dining room. So what I have used is this is actually, look at this. This is really cute. This is a little pollinator that you can get. It's a little vibrating pollinator. It's a commercial grade. It's what the greenhouse tomato growers use to pollinate their flowers, and it's really kind of funny because it's a little bee, and it goes to each flower. And I'm going to show you why this is important with this next clip. And with that, that pollination aid, I mean, look at this. This is the red robin variety of those micro tomatoes, and look at how many little tomatoes are on this plant. I mean, they are all up in there, and all of the varieties are like this. They are just so loaded with fruit. It's like I said the other day, these micro tomatoes are really overachievers when we consider the production that we get from the larger normal size cherry tomatoes. Now this is another variety. This is called Orange Hat, and Orange Hat gets a lot of press for being a very productive plant, and look at how many little tomatoes are on this small plant. This plant right now was seeded on February 15th. So we're February, March, April, May, June. We're going on 4 months. This is still producing. One of the things I have noticed because of the lights that I use, and I'm just going to, here, let's just get my big old finger out of there. The lights I have on the germination rack are just LED shop lights. I don't have any of the fancy, spectrum lights or the grow lights. I don't think we really need that, but what I do see using these non-optical or optimum lights, see how we've got some discoloration here on the foliage. So that just tells me that we don't have the best light. But you want to know something? Do you need the best light to get the production of tomatoes that are on this little plant in 4 months? I mean, that's the question that I have and that I want to pose to everybody. Does it have to be perfect? No. Do you need the perfect looking plant? No. You want a plant that will produce tomatoes. That's the key. And I hope that that's kind of the takeaway that you get from this. And it's also a point that I make out in my garden. I will take another look at my tomatoes that are out in the garden here in a week or so. It's hot, it's humid all of a sudden. They aren't looking too good, but they're still productive. See, and that's the key. That's what you want. You want productive plants. Great looking plants are great. Productive plants are even better. So, thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time for another daily dose of hort.